The thing, though, that started this conversation, okay, and I don't know how everyone in our audience is absorbing the Kyle Shanahan stuff. When coaches get in trouble, we like to sniff around. When it smells like cover-up or conspiracy, we do so more. A head coach injuring himself in an accident where he gets 40 stitches, breaks his ribs, breaks his nose, and breaks his hand, and this is the key part, can't do his job right now because he's got a concussion, says that he was going 20 miles an hour, says that the accident was his fault now, that the report is wrong, which as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, what did the police do here?
Okay, let's stop there, because some of these things, I mean, I've been through it. I've been in a car accident before. I've been through a car accident before with the airbags deployed. Been there before where I've had stitches. The most stitches I've ever had is 9. And the hole was this big. It was a big hole in my head right here. If you want to see it, I cut them fools with run. Have a gangster story for it, right? Make up something. Nah, this is when I got pushed out the swings by those Bloods. For real. So it is a gang story, I guess. But 9, 40? Y'all do the math. That's 4, almost 5 times as big. That's a gash. That's a thing right there. 46. Okay, been there before. Also, you talk about the concussion. Obviously, I've been there before. But, I mean, I've had multiple concussions. I had a concussion at the track meet in Oregon. I had a concussion on the field in Columbia. I had concussions, multiple concussions. This long? It's been 2 weeks? I don't know. It's a different era. I certainly knew how to add and subtract and call plays if needed to be, if I were a coach. Like 2 weeks and going, concussion. We know these guys are now being held back from the NFL when they get concussed. They go into the blue tent, and then the independent doctor shows up, and then all of a sudden you don't see him anymore that game. Then you don't see him the next week. But then the week after, you usually see him, right? Because frankly, I'm going to be real, he can come back quicker than he did. But after them lawsuits, and we are going to protect ourselves from the liability. Because when I played, there was no blue tent. Hey, buddy, you okay? You sure you okay? You like your starting job, right? You like your money? Like, whatever. It's a different world, but I have a lot of this in common, so we're going to talk deep on it. There you go.
Like, so what happened here? Because in the 11 or 13 days of silence since the accident, plenty of people wondered, well, what else is here? Now he's explained it, and to me, it feels like there are more questions than there were before this started, because he's volunteering, hey, this is my fault. Volunteering that, why? You didn't volunteer that from the beginning. You're volunteering it now. Why are you volunteering that now? What?
Okay, let's defend Kyle Shanahan too. This is the best courtroom ever. We on both sides. We don't give. Hey, if I got all this happening, concussion, broken ribs, and my face got smashed, it got sliced up, 40 stitches, all blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving out statements. Y'all got to speak for me. Y'all got to say something for me now, okay? Now, I know he wasn't unconscious. I know he wasn't in a coma, so y'all like, yo, he could have told the real, and we going to get there. Trust me, you got to walk down this one. This is like in Colors. Remember in Colors? Hey, let's run down and get one of them. Nah. We going to walk down and get them all, baby.
What are you afraid we're going to find out in that report, or what should have been that report, that you're saying, no, my bad, but 13 days later? The other place I want to tie it to, though, as athletes like Michael Strahan tell you what the job of an interviewer is, because Michael Strahan is now in the space where he is a dominant media power, Chris Sims is not a journalist, but more and more the athletes are the information guys and kind of standing in for the journalists. So Chris Sims is friends with Kyle Shanahan. They've both got tattoos of each other's initials, I believe. Can you guys look that up for me? Is there any photo evidence of this? Because I don't even think of Chris Sims as a tattoo guy. Never mind, I'm going to put Kyle Shanahan's initials on me. Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Did you think of Chris Sims as a tattoo guy?
What would make you think, hey, that's a tattoo guy?
I don't think so, but when I heard that he had Kyle Shanahan's initials on him, that seems to be a conflict in the report.
Okay, so supposedly they had a closed press conference. Supposedly we don't have much. We got some quotes, and we're going to go through those quotes. But I mean, I hate we live in a world where because you got to be sensitive to everyone's emotions and you don't want to victim blame and victim shame. You just can't say what you really know, which is this is a cover up. This is absolutely something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? As my grandma used to say, play puss, get funked. And she said it in much more explicit terms. Play punk, play puss, get funked. I would say it, but it's too early for all that cursing.
Reporting of news. I'm gonna get way out there and say that when it comes to information on Kyle Shanahan, Chris Sims has it, but he's not obligated to give it out, correct? Because he's not a journalist and because he's not that kind of information guy. And the kind of information guy that he is an exceptional one. His information is very good, but I'm not expecting him, and you're not expecting him to be a journalist here, correct, Greg?
Now, this is kind of weird, even though I know what Dan is saying, and I actually agree with him, and I didn't expect Chris Sims to out his boy, because if it was Adam Schefter, yeah, Adam Schefter, you got to out your boy. I'm sorry. You know, that whole, if you knew where Jim Harbaugh was going, you should have just said it. My bad. But the whole point is, you don't expect that of Chris Sims, but if he's forward-facing, camera-facing in front of it, and then you know that there's an accident and it happened, do you think this is never coming out? You think this is going to go forever? I guess after day 10, you probably thinking like, ain't nobody going to find out. Are you cured? Come on, man. So I don't expect you to do it, but now looking back, I think it would have been the best thing to do. Like always, honesty is the what? Best policy.
No, and if anything, he's betraying a friendship by saying something very private about Shanahan.
Well, he did say something 11 days later, which is that Kyle Shanahan almost lost his eye from the airbag, that the pictures are much bad. They're much worse than you would imagine, that when he saw his face, he was alarmed.
When you guys get information from a friend, not like a source or someone that you've worked with, but like, this is my friend, and then you reveal it publicly, don't you usually think that there was a conversation? Hey, is it okay if I say this out loud?
Of course.
Usually there is, but in this particular case, Chris Sims didn't say very much, and he didn't say any of it until it was already reported. So what he said was he almost lost his right eye and it was bad. But the conversation that I want to have, okay? You guys know I spent a lot of time here talking about the way we cover these things, and there is no obligation in sports to cover this stuff like journalists. ESPN made that so, but there's not actually that responsibility. We can leave these people alone. We can cover them the way we did many years ago when none of this stuff was on limits. It was all off limits. And I think the athletes and the power brokers would prefer it that way. The power always prefers that you can't actually shame them with the truth. But now that we're in an age where the truth doesn't actually shame, and you realize that the power of the press isn't much of a power if when we tell the truth, it doesn't cause shame. If you can just get around it, because I'll just deny it. I'll say I was driving 20 miles an hour. I will say that it's my fault now. The accident is my fault. And I'll make it look like accountability when, no, you were kind of forced out into the light on this one, weren't you? And you didn't want to get out in the light when your face looked a lot worse.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's give that some credit. Round of applause. I wish I had that button, but I ain't set up like that. The way my checking and savings work on this computer right now. What do you say? Hey, that was deep. What he's saying is, look at the levels of how they're boiling this frog, and we're the frog. Look how far our day-to-day is getting removed from the truth. Like, this is really deep. Now, Dan is passionate, and it comes out with levity, and they all get silly about it, but he is really dead set on, journalists were the policemen, the enforcers of truth, at least in what they covered. They used to be. And then this big old entity, ESPN is one example, but all of them got into it, and the incentives shaped and changed how they behaved, because it stopped being about the truth being the gold standard, the truth actually being rewarding. The truth used to get you paid Tom Brokaw. You know what I mean? Walter Cronkite. We're getting to the bottom of this. Remember those days? and whatever it may be, early sports commentary. What was it? Strictly about the numbers, strictly on the field. What do you think, Bob? Oh, I love being at Lambeau. You know, and they just talking about it. But when these personalities start happening, this color commentary really took shape and more vibrant, greater colors. We got farther and farther away from the truth because we started to add on story, which is fine. But to me, it's like a joke. Every joke I hear has to be rooted in some degree of reality. Or to me, it's not funny. That's why I don't like slapstick comedy. I don't. Because I'm like, what am I supposed to be laughing at? Like you just act, or physical comedy doesn't do it for me really either. But I get it sometimes. But the point is, if it's not rooted in the truth, Dan is saying, what are we doing? So they kept boiling the frog. Now the frog done went from truth only, rewarded, you get paid to be the truth teller, to add some color to it, some spice, some condiment, some story to it. But still keep it true, keep it real. Then it got exaggerated. That's when he brings up ESPN, to the point where now something bad happens, you don't have to say a word, or you can deny it, lie, wait to see what happens. Oh, they don't know? And then everyone is getting rewarded, reinforce the bad behavior, the negative behavior, and the people who ain't doing nothing, they just keep climbing the social ladder, keep climbing the work ladder. But when you get caught, all you got to do is say, oh, my bad. Oh, they didn't tell you? Oh, no, it wasn't their fault. And then there's no consequence. I mean, if you call this a consequence, people going to talk about you and not believe you. But as soon as they see you, I'm like, can I get a picture? Man, Dan dropped that one, dog. I don't know if y'all picked up what he put down, but that was sick.
We don't know how much shame is merited yet, right? We don't know the extent of guilt on Shanahan, if there is any guilt. And he buys a lot of goodwill by coming off as honest, even 2 weeks late, and saying it was my fault.
But was he, is my question. Like, I don't know what happened here either, but it doesn't sound right to me. 20 miles an hour, you were fishing for your phone, you never hit the brakes, and now you have the kinds of injuries that you almost lost your eye. I just didn't know it was possible at 20 miles an hour to be so oblivious. If you were not passed out at the wheel, if you're driving your car, I didn't think that it was possible at 20 miles an hour to be so oblivious that you never hit your brakes and you're getting an airbag in the face that you weren't expecting in any way. I didn't think that could happen at 20 miles an hour.
Dan,
Now, we're going to get into all the details of what did happen, but 20 miles an hour is slower than a human being can run. Like Tyreek Hill, old Tyreek Hill, not now. He can't even feel his left leg. He said no power in it. But Tyreek Hill, peak powers, is faster than 20 miles an hour. That's not fast for a car. That's fast for a human. So to Dan's point, he's like, okay, what is going on here if you can't get yourself together and avoid all of this at 20 miles an hour?
you don't have to be going that fast for your airbags to deploy. It's all about the car sensing the collision and then the rapid stop. And more people get injured probably off of airbags than they do off of car accidents themselves.
Yeah.
Is that statistically right? That can't be statistically right.
Yeah.
More people get injured from the airbag. So wait a minute. If Kyle Shanahan had said this, does this buy him anything in terms of diluting your suspicion? Hey, the airbag did this. I hit the brakes too hard at 20 miles an hour and the airbag exploded in my face.
Well, apparently that is how he got the cut on his eye, is from, we all have that garage clicker on the visor in our car, right?
Yeah.
No, not anymore. Most people have that electronically.
Oh, I
have
still
one.
do.
I still have one of those too, but that's only people over 40 who have that. Everyone
Oh,
else
you're old.
Everyone else has a smart
I
car.
got both.
I still have that, and that came flying off from the airbag and sliced his eye.
Well, and the airbag gave him the concussion. The airbag probably gave him the broken ribs as well. It punches you. It hits you because it's trying to stop you from moving forward. And it's not just hitting your brakes hard. It is the collision with the vehicle in front of him, which we know that happened. No, what makes it suspicious isn't.
Let me talk about the airbags. You ever been in an accident and the airbags come out? Phew, you're like, God. First of all, I'm serious. I know sometimes people slip up. If you got an itty bitty, do not put them where the airbags are. I'm not playing, dog. That thing will, it could. It could take them to the sky. It's insane. It comes out with the force. You got to think what kind of force has to come out before you hit your steering wheel or your windshield. Should have your seatbelt on, not deploy you, right? Before you hit that, that thing is already inflated. And it stinks and it's hot. It's super hot and stinky, and you're gonna have either heat, like a heat burn or something on you. Something gonna be on you, you're gonna burn somewhere, or you're gonna get smacked, a baby concussion. It is, but it's better than the alternative, right? It beats the alternative by far.
Any of the details, Dan. There's no detail that's going to make it suspicious. What makes it suspicious is, why was this a secret? Why was this hidden? It's a fender bender. His airbag's deployed. He got hit. He's got all messed up. If that happened yesterday and we found out the news today, we're like, oh, that sucks. But the fact that it was a secret is what makes it suspicious.
And no,
Okay, the only reason I think it's suspicious is because he knows that phone it wasn't gonna sound good. Maybe he exaggerated. Maybe he was paranoid. You know, paranoia is an extreme. It's an exaggeration. I think he knew, oh, this ain't gonna look good. I was on my phone and then I got in no accident. It could be that simple, or it could be deeper. Of like, what were you doing in that car? Who was in that car? Look, if you're gonna cover something up, make sure you're doing some good covering, right? Don't have a big scandal and it's over a little problem. Like, people really get into accidents a lot because of their phone. So even that, you're a little paranoid, coach. Somebody should have said, hey, coach, don't call that play. That's a bad play to call right now. Like, just admit it. You were on your phone. You're looking for your phone. But he is going to admit it when we go through the transcripts. You're going to be like, oh, my God.
not only that, but what is the instant imperative that makes you go fish for a phone you've just dropped? You can't wait 10 seconds. You can't wait until the next stop sign. You can't wait until you park. That's happened to me. You know, sometimes the phone winds up near the brake pedal.
I hate that when it's like I put my phone sometimes between my legs and then you hit the brakes and all of a sudden your phone's by your feet.
Right.
And you're like,
yeah, but you don't have to immediately take your eye off the road and go fishing for your phone. A lot of this smells foul. I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan. A lot of this smells foul.
You're not sorry.
Okay, everybody is admitting they're on their phone when they're driving. Just FYI. Okay, just you hear it all through all of them. Phone on the lap, phone between the legs. If your phone ain't in the cup holder or charging, what we doing here? So look, I just want everyone to know where they're starting from. They all admitting this.
Sorry, and you just took one of the easiest stances that have ever happened. They wouldn't call them accidents if they happened on purpose. Like, the way that happens as an accident very often is because there are a lot of people in our audience who want to get that phone right then and there. They're detail oriented. They're obsessive compulsive.
Yeah.
They're anal. And you're right. You're correct. You need to wait and not put people in peril. But there are some people that can't abide the anxiety of the fact that their phone is now over there and not in their hands.
I do it out of the fear that my phone's gonna like get locked in with like the pedals and stuff.
That's happened to me before. The phone slid under the pedal. I'm trying to brake. The phone is stopping. I can't stop. We're out of control. Get out of the way. I've got a phone on the floor.
Hey, real spit, that happened with me because, you know, in the car, pee bottle. Who ain't got a pee bottle, right? You get a big pee bottle, and then that thing slide and hit that. You better be careful. I've seen that before.
Tony, I'm looking at you while we're talking about all this driving thing, and what I see is somebody who does bad shit on the road.
That's you know what? That's not right. That's not right. Bad shit on the road is
Okay, this is I know Dan too well. They about to go off the rails. And if they not, it's just, we don't need to go all the way. All right, love for Dan Batard. Let's keep the energy going on that because I want to get a little deeper into this, into the comments. But first, let's get a video out. Let's show some love. More color commentary. Oh God, Rob Parker from the Columbia University. I just said it like Ohio State, and we don't say it like that. I want to give him some props on this as well. Let's go. Oh, let me give you some love. Let me give you some love. I'm not sharing you, brother. Here we go. I got to share you with the people. Let go. Talk your talk.
Disgraceful. Disgraceful. And you could get away with that in Santa Clara. One in San Francisco, a bigger police force where I think you'd have a harder time.
I agree with that.
Hiding a story like that. But Chris Sims, please. Chris Sims basically pulled his pants down, turned around, and showed his ass to let you know that there's nothing coming out of his mouth that he's ever going to be objective or tell you about the 49ers or about Kyle Shanahan. Because he basically said he's a friend, and even a guy who's supposedly a member of the media and is going to go up there and talk about everybody else and their situations was mum.
Damn. Another one dead. Like, for real, I'm fighting it because I like Chris Sims so much. But I can't lie. Whenever he speaks now, from that point on, it's just like, okay. You know, like you're around somebody, you got a beef with somebody. Y'all beefed it out. Y'all understand each other now. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all talked it out. Not fighting, just like, okay, I don't respect you no more. You did that, I don't respect you. Or vice versa. But then y'all got a friend in common, right? Me and Chris and I got something in common. We both love football. Okay, so I'm going to be around you, Chris. That means I'm going to turn my TV on and watch you. You might turn on your internet and your YouTube and watch me. I don't know. Point being, we're going to be around each other. Now I got to hear you talk. And you know, like, I know how most people are in that situation. Most people act like they're ignoring them. They got energy, negative energy. They acting like they ain't there. And you know, to ignore is to pay attention. That's why I don't ignore people. If you don't like me, you're going to know you don't like me because I'm going to say hi to you. I'm going to say, well, how you doing? And you're going to be like, no, you know I don't like with you. You know I don't mess with you. I was like, but I'm not about to walk around here acting like you don't exist. You ain't here, ignoring you, which is paying you more attention. Oh, I want to go to the bathroom. Oh, he over there. I ain't going to the bathroom right now. I'm going to act like I don't even see him by the bathroom, but I need to go to the bathroom. I'm not doing all that. You're not controlling my life. I'm going to speak to you. Okay? But I have apathy for you. Like, I'm apathetic. But the point is, when I see Chris Sims talk now about football, Chris Sims gonna be talking about football and be like this. Really? And if he goes in on somebody, oh, guess what I know? Guess what I heard? We're gonna be like, nobody cares. Who cares? I mean, it's just crazy. And it shouldn't be that extreme, but I don't know if time heals this thought process in this wound, but I know you know now something that you were just looking out for your boy. So when you go in on somebody, is it just because he not your boy? You gonna criticize somebody, Jalen Carter, who just got paid and spit on somebody, remember last year, Dak? I don't want to hear, if that happens this year with somebody else, I don't want to hear about it. Not from you. It's just gonna be a weird dynamic.
Be damned. Seriously. And the police around Santa Clara in the stadium, shame on you. Whoever's in charge, the police chief, whatever, they all should have to resign their jobs for public safety. Those are public records. People should know when there's an accident. There's no way in the world that should be hidden. The police are wrong. This is why people don't trust the police. This kind of stuff. I told Rob G in the early meeting.
Yeah.
I said this went on in the 50s when Mickey Mantle was driving drunk for the Yankees and the police would get in his car and drive him home and not take him to the police station. That doesn't happen now.
Right.
Okay? But Chris Sims to get there.
One is enabling behavior. And let's just be real. We all have grown to a place where you start to realize you're glad you got disciplined. You're glad you got caught. You're glad that didn't go well. Because if not, what's going to course correct you? What's going to get you back? Dog, I remember when I stole them batteries in the 12th grade. I've told you this story before. And that was the last time I ever stole something. And I'm glad I got caught. My principal looked at me. She said, Marcellus, I got one question for you. You going to do this again? I said, no, ma'am. And have not. But imagine if not. Then you get to college, the stakes are bigger. You playing D1 ball, and then all of a sudden you do something like that. You go pro. I don't know. You turn into like, who was that, Angelo Ball? You go out the country and do it. I mean, you got to get course corrected.
Oh, I've been waiting. Doesn't he work for Pro Football Talk? Doesn't he work for us? If you're Mike Florio sitting next to him, seriously, that's the freaking guy I want to be on my podcast with my website, Pro Football Talk. You have an exclusive story. And now he comes in 2 or 3 weeks later and goes, because Kyle Shanahan is a great guy, and that's why they held it a secret. What if he died? Are you kidding me? Bad all around. Especially the police and especially Chris Sims. I wouldn't trust that guy with anything, and I'm talking about for information or knowledge. Mike Florio, really? Mike Florio sat there and thought that was okay? That his partner on his podcast sat there and held that from him for 2 weeks? What?
Look, I'm not a big believer that thank you, Rob. I'm not a big believer that Mike Florio didn't know. Because I know when I have a partner, we be talking before and after the show, like, yo, I got something, but I can't tell the world, but I'm telling you, big dog. I mean, that's just how it works. You know, all the partners I work with, I rock with, I can imagine Acho saying it, Kellerman saying it, Whitlock saying it. I probably unsaid it to them, like, watch when this one hit. And sometimes it's not even done in negativity. It's just like, yo, wait till this hit. You like, ooh, wait. All right, now let's get into this. Because this is crazy. I got it. Kyle Shanahan, car accident. All right, then we're going to be done with this topic. And we're going to talk about why you should not ignore your enemy or hater, or whatever the hell y'all want to call him. Y'all shouldn't ignore him. I'm going to tell you why. All right, here we go. You should acknowledge they butt every time. Here we go. All right, official statements and everything. So here's what Kyle Shanahan has said on record. I hit her. I don't know why it was reported that way on the collision report database. The police report doesn't say that. Okay, so a discrepancy. He said, I read the police report and didn't say that. But then they got to the public record and it changed up. He's like, that ain't my job. I was driving. I was going 20 miles an hour. I was not on my phone, but I dropped my phone and it was stuck in my seat. I took my eyes off the road looking for my phone and my car veered into someone. Okay, we get all those beats. We get it. Now, you not on your phone is a literal statement that can be taken in a grander scope of like, but why is your phone on your lap? Blah, blah, blah. If your phone falls into between your seat, why wasn't it already secured? Because you probably was using it. Like, and I know this happened in a Tesla case before because Tesla films outside and inside your car. They were like, oh, you weren't on your phone? Oh, okay. What time this accident occurred? They start doing that triangulation. They start getting them surveillance cameras. Everything start pinpointing you. They get exact time. Boom. Let's look in that car and see what happened. You like this. Come on, man. Be careful. I'm just saying be careful. Don't dig it deeper. It's one of those roads where there's no forgiveness. When I hit her, I'll never forget how violent the impact was. No, you won't. I was going 20 miles an hour. Thank God. I don't know how I would have handled it going twice as fast as that. Okay. Let's all put our legal hats on. Be careful saying 20 miles an hour because if that number comes back different, and it will, I don't know what they put down if they already got it out there, but maybe he already knows that and he's saying it because he knows it. 50. If it comes back, you were going 37, that ain't 20. Anything with a 3 on it, it just crushed me hearing the girl get blamed for it. I'm just lucky that I survived, that she didn't get hurt, and that I didn't lose my eye. Okay, respect to all that. You survived, that she didn't get hurt, you didn't lose your eye. Yes. When did you hear that the girl got blamed for it is the question. You know, sometimes when you're late to the party of telling the real, you don't bring all you should bring. You know what I mean? You ever been there? I know about that. Right? You coming late now. Oh, you want to say, oh, you forgot. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Oh, yeah. When did you know she got blamed? Did you immediately say, oh, no, 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 no? Or did it come out and then you be like, oh, man, that was messed up what y'all did to her? There's a big difference between you just being forthright and saying it, and all of a sudden you say, oh, that's messed up. Okay, here we go. What did the 49ers say? San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan was involved in a car accident last week. Last week. The reason I laugh, and I know sometimes I feel like this could be a nothing burger. For those who think this is a nothing burger, let me help you out. Why this is something to the people in the media and a lot of athletes, but the athletes just like, man, look, we got training camp. We ain't tripping. we got bigger fish to fry right now. It's camp time. It's because when you do something less egregious, but it gets more attention immediately, you sitting there like, which way is up? That's the only reason, right? You know how it goes when you were in class and the person next to you was cheating, the person next to them was cheating, and then you look, and then all of a sudden they got you all hemmed up, and you like, what do you mean? I wasn't really cheating. You kind of were looking, but you wasn't cheating. And then you sitting in the office like, I can't believe I'm in the office. And I just look. Them suckers is straight up cheating. You should look at his hat. Look at his calculator. You remember the calculators, the scientific calculators? Oh my God, cheat code. And you don't want to snitch. You don't want to get them all in trouble, but you're like, that's how people feel about this story. They're like, you done came at me for less. That's it. Okay. San Francisco 49ers, this is head coach Kyle Shanahan car accident last week where he suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Coach Shanahan will participate in team activities on a limited basis at the start of training camp while he recovers. Sound like a player, huh? He limited. Coach Shanahan and the 49ers organization would like to sincerely thank all first responders involved for their efforts and care. Oh, they took care of him, all right. That's too much. He's okay now, so, you know, like in football, dude get hurt. Are you all right? You good, big dog? You good? Oh, you are? Okay, he laid your ass out, dog. He killed you. All right, assistant head coach Chris Forster, along with team coordinators, will handle head coach responsibilities during this period. One of my mentees is a big-time exec with the 49ers. I ain't even hit him up to get the real. I could hit him up and get the real. I don't even want to get in the middle of this story because they already did their cover-up, so let them have fun. John Lynch, official 49ers update. We're going to let the condition, the doctors dictate how he comes back when he comes back. Number one for Kyle and the Shanahan family is getting him back right. He's a tremendous head coach. You ain't lying. But this is bigger than that. Yes, it is. This is about his well-being. On whether Shanahan will miss week one, that's not what we're anticipating. That's not what I've heard from the doctors. So he's not going to play. He's not going to coach the preseason, but he's going to play. Next time a player want to do that, y'all better shut it. Hey, man, I don't know, coach. Y'all need to let, what's my boy name that's be doing these Instagram videos? He done lost his mind right now. He need to just pull this stunt. Like, look, I ain't doing no camp. I know I've been talking trash about y'all. What's his name, that receiver? Oh, Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk. Ayuk need to pull this same. He need to quote that right there. Forget training camp. Forget the preseason. I'll be there for the games. All right, here's what the police department said. And this is kind of tough right here. This is the worst part. They saved the worst for last. Lieutenant Nicholas Martinez said, I can confirm that Kyle Shanahan's statement that he provided is correct and that he was found at fault for the collision. There was a clerical error in the preparation of the report that was transmitted to the state database. We are in the process of correcting that error. I don't like calling people liars. I really don't, because even when you got them dead to rights, it's like 99.99%. Maybe something happened and you don't know, and they don't know how to articulate it, but it happened. I don't know. I don't like calling people liars. But I do like quoting Outkast because I got rap Tourette's. Two things I hate, liars and thieves. They make my blood boil. Boa constrictor around my soul that you coil. Ooh. Okay. data era, clerical era. Okay. I remember, and I don't know when it was, I was talking to MJ, Itty Bitty. And this is when he was really going through his lying phase. He was like 8 or 9. He really was just trying to, I mean, he's figuring out, hey, I got a new phase of knowledge and consciousness. Like, I got more freedoms. And so you start taking liberties. And I'm just watching him because I'm laughing because I know how I was at 8 and 9. I did the same thing. I was like, oh, mama ain't tripping. Well, I'm about to fall. And I remember finally he did enough lying, you know, Dad, I said, you know, you just get up, you just wake up. Yeah, you just woke up. Oh, okay. All right. So the next day I'm gonna wake you up. Not wake you up. I'm gonna go in your room and see where you at if you're not sleeping with me already. Go in there. Guess what? That boy on the toilet with his iPad. Acting like he had to go pee in the middle of the night. Nah, you just on your iPad. I said, uh-huh. So finally, I had to have this conversation. The reason I bring this up right now is because I had to remind him that there's so many different ways to lie. And I told him about one thing that I noticed that a lot of people don't even catch is that coincidences that occur that are always in your favor. Oh, I wasn't even on it, iPad. It was just around me. Oh, coincidence. Huh? You around the iPad, iPad around you. All the coincidences that occur just happen to break for you. Just be careful. Now, if you haven't noticed this before, watch people where when it's a coincidence, it just could benefit them, not you. That's another way, another play of how a lie is constructed, just FYI. Police also stated that neither driver received preferential treatment and that it is within an officer's discretion not to issue a citation. Okay, I get that. They ain't give him a citation. People trying to say, oh, so that's the beginning and snowball of all this. Bottom line, Shanahan took responsibility. Okay, let's get out of this. What do I think of this? Button this up. Eventually, Pablo Torre will get a hold of some info and out his ass. Francisco Aguilera says, shout out to him. What do I think about this right now? We all know, people always say that when there's smoke, there's fire. That's not true. I don't believe that statement. I never have, never will, because I live in LA. And in LA, there's always some smoke. It's called smog. And it ain't always a fire. But in the summer, it feels like it is, right? But in all seriousness, there's a reason why there's a word called coincidence. Like, no, that has nothing to do with that, but it just happened at the same time, right? Or same era, or same, you know, there is that. Trust me. Those two things are not the same. Those two things are not the same, but you connected them for some reason. But this one is not that. This is not even smoke, because no one knew anything. This is actually, look, fire. And then you're like, how long that fire been blazing? And you like, somebody say, you know, if right here you sitting there and somebody said fire right next to me, I would not expect an inferno. Because I would expect somebody when it was small or just starting to say something. You imagine somebody just write fire. Oh, snap. Like, no. So that's what this is. That's that dynamic. That's why this doesn't smell right. This is not where there's smoke, there's fire. This is, no, there's fire, and it's bigger than we thought. And why didn't I know, or you tell me that there was a fire that big before? All right, beat up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think.